Hey, so today's class is going to be very, very gentle on the floor class, and it's going to be perfect for when you're just waking up or maybe when you're going to bed. So it'll either help you to wake up gently or also wind down gently and prepare for sleeping. You don't need any props. I just have a mat, no bolsters, no blocks. Enjoy. Okay, we'll start on the ground, on the back. So you're going to come down, bring the knees in with you. And we'll start with lengthening the spine first. So from laying down in the bed, from sleeping, waking up the spine from that supine position. So you're going to roll left to right, feel all the vertebrae. And we'll start connecting to the breath right away. So as you inhale, you pay attention to the inhale. And as you exhale, you pay attention to the exhale. And then we'll go for a very gentle pigeon pose. So right foot is going to come down to the ground, left ankle on top of the right knee. And if this is enough already here, then we stay here. If not, then we'll interlace the fingertips, hold behind that right thigh, bring the right thigh closer into the chest. So first thing in the morning is when we're the tightest, so I'm really feeling it. And then from here you can roll left to right as well and just explore the different sensations. Your left toes are staying active, so left toes are looking towards the left knee to protect the knee joint. And then maybe with time, see if you want to maybe hold onto the right shin as opposed to the thigh. And maybe there's now more space in the thigh. And then when we're done on this side, we're going to shift a little bit to the left, just the pelvis, and then bring the legs all the way to the right until your left foot touches the ground. So your right outer thigh is on the ground, left foot is on the floor. And now we're going to bring the mind back into the left glute and see how the sensations maybe have changed on that side. And then see if maybe you need to press that left knee away. So very careful, very slow here, especially in the morning. Just feeling the edges of that left hip. And then all the muscles that are not working, we're going to try to actively relax. So the face is going to relax and soften. And the lower jaw is going to relax and soften. And the front of the throat. And then that softness from the throat, we're going to spread into the chest, into the shoulders, into the arms. And then release the legs, bring them back to the center, midline here. Release the left foot. We're going to go for the other side, so right ankle on top of the left knee. And again, we'll spend a moment here just feeling into the right hip here. So once you get there, pause, check in with the body. Check in with that right hip. Maybe this is enough, and so maybe you stay here. And if not, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Bring the left thigh in. And again, being soft and gentle with the body and the joints. And then we'll introduce the rolling left to right. And then making sure we're not falling to one side. This still requires some core control here. And then maybe see if we can hug the left shin instead. Keeping the right toes active, looking towards the right knee. And then if we're ready for that supine twist, we're going to shift the pelvis a little bit to the right and then start bringing the legs to the left until your right foot this time is stepping on the ground. The outside of the left hip is now touching the floor. Right knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. And then maybe we offer that gentle press into the right inner thigh. We press it away just as much as the body requires today, this morning. And then remembering that the body is sort of a moment by moment assessment. What it was yesterday is not what it is today. What it was 10 years ago is not what it is today. And every side is different as well. So approaching each side differently as well. Not expecting from one side the same thing we expect from the other. And then resting that right shoulder on the ground, maybe even opening the right palm in a T. And then when you're ready, releasing the right thigh and then bringing everything back to the center. Release the right foot towards the floor. We're going to come into bridge pose. So we're going to bring the palms down along the mat and really just graze the fingertips towards the heels. So you're just slightly touching the heels. The feet are in the same line as the hip bones, so not any wider and not feet together, just under the hip bones, under the sits bones. And from here, we're going to start lifting the pelvis up to the ceiling and then paying attention to the knees staying right over the ankles here. So the tendency here is to splay the knees out. We're going to keep them in line. Keep both knees pointing towards the ceiling as though there is a block between your knees. So still not collapsing the knees in. That's going to feel really weird. Keeping the knees in line over the ankles. So this whole time we're here, we're activating the glutes. Pelvis is still moving towards the ceiling. And then you're thinking of bringing the chest towards the chin here. So we're elongating the back of the neck here. So counteracting that text neck and laptop neck. And then you'll feel like your shoulders want to move underneath. So you're going to move the shoulders underneath, and then maybe the fingers touch, and you're going to interlace the fingertips and keep pressing the hips up and the chin towards the chest. So we're going to stay here 2 more breaths through the nose, calming down the breath. 1. Even though the body's freaking out, the breath is calm. And 2, release the fingertips, release the glutes all the way down. Bring the feet together. Knees are gonna go to either side. Right palm on the belly, left palm on the heart. feet are touching here. I'm going to melt the right leg down, melt the left leg down. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, release. One more like that. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, mouth. Softening the right hip, softening the left hip. This is Supta Baddha Konasana here. Opening through the hip joints. Relaxing the soles of the feet. So relax the feet, the ankles, and then let that softness move all the way up the leg towards the knee. Soften both knees. Then let that softness move towards the hips. Soften the hips once you get there with your attention. And then let's soften the belly, so softening the skin of the belly. Really just melting the body into the ground. That's the whole purpose of this pose here today. Softening through all the muscles. You don't have to hold on to anything here at all. Then we're going to use the palms. Bring the thighs in together. And then bring the knees into the chest one more time. This time we're going to actually go for the happy baby. So either holding behind the knees, or maybe now even going for the ankles or around the calves, maybe outside the feet, or maybe even holding the big toes. And then we're going to engage the arms. So the arms are not soft. Arms are strong here, pulling the feet in towards the floor. And then we're going to roll left to right. Again, massaging the pelvis, opening the hip joint. And connect back to the breath. Inhaling, noticing the inhale. Exhaling, noticing the exhale. And then release the feet. We're going to start rolling along the length of the mat. So maybe that requires you hold behind the knees. And so as you're rolling forward and back, you're feeling into the spine along its entire length here. Whew. Okay, and usually if this was like a day class or evening class, I would get people to come into a squat at the top of the mat, but I feel like it's too early today. It's too early. But if you wanted to, you could come into a squat at the top and then roll back. Okay, we're gonna stay on the back for a second. Close the eyes, bring the palms back into the body. Collapse the knees in and walk the feet out. So the feet are mat distance, maybe even wider. Knees collapsed in, touching each other. And come back to stillness here. So from movement to stillness. Closing the eyes, softening the face. And then as you inhale, you're going to inhale into the lower abdomen. Work the diaphragm. Exhale, release, let it go. One more time into the lower abdomen. Exhale through the mouth, open. One more time. Inhale into the lower abdomen. Exhale, release. And then just feel what you feel inside the body. Maybe slight buzzing, maybe complete stillness. Release the entire upper back into the floor. And notice if there's any patterns of holding tension in the body, maybe lower jaw, maybe shoulders. And then bringing the feet together. We're going to go for a supine twist again. So moving the spine. So 3 options. Option number 1, 90 degrees in the legs. Arms are going to open up. Legs are going to come to one side. Option 2, right leg is long. Just the left knee is moving towards the floor. So this is level 2. Level 3, you're going to bring the left knee on top of the right, intertwine, eagle legs, scoot the butt to the left, bring the knees to the right. Inhale, nose. Exhale, release and melt into the ground here. So with an exhale, you can see how the body relaxes more. You can go a little deeper into the twist as you exhale. So we're going to focus on bringing the exhales to their completion. So exhaling completely, getting rid of all of the air out of the lungs. And because you're in a twist, the twist is sort of forcing you to really exhale to the very end. Inhale, nose. Exhale. Release everything. Again, let's come back to that stillness and presence. If you're fidgeting, notice any fidgeting. Find a comfortable position and then stay there and commit to not moving for a few minutes here. And then as we're ready to switch for the other side, the knees will come up. Untangle the legs. And then we'll go for the other side. But before we do, we're going to come back to the midline here. So again, align the heels with the pelvis, with the sits bones. Just feel what it feels like to be in the middle again, to come back to center line. Just letting the body come back to that homeostasis, neutral position. Okay, and then we'll go for the other side. So maybe the knees together, and again, just bringing the knees to the left, or maybe left leg lock, and just the right leg moves towards the left, or third option, eagle legs, right leg on top of the left, scoot the pelvis to the right, bring the knees to the left. As you get there, fully exhale. And then another inhale like that. Inhale, nose. Fully exhale. Release everything that's been storing in the body here with the exhale. Open up the right arm, maybe in a T, maybe cactus, maybe overhead, whatever feels good here. And focus on exhaling completely again. So getting all the air out of the lungs. And then maybe you go for a little bit of a deeper twist. Now that we've been here for a second, see maybe if the right shoulder is moving any closer towards the floor. And allow the body to come back to stillness. And the mind also comes back to stillness. And then if you're ready, knees are going to come back up to the center. Untangle everything and bring the pelvis and the head into one line. Spine is in the middle. One more time. We're just going to check in with the spine. So we've moved the spine in all directions. So just noticing any subtle shifts within the body. And then we get ready for the final resting pose, Shavasana. So you can extend the legs, take up space with the arms. Then letting the heels sink into the ground, letting the toes open up. Allow the pelvis to get heavy. And then sinking the upper back into the ground. And then letting the back of the head sink into the floor. And maybe tucking the chin and bringing the back of the head a little bit flatter on the ground. and softening through the face, softening the eyes, softening the cheeks. And notice where the points of tension are. Scanning the body from top of the head to the toes. Releasing the face, the throat. Dropping the shoulders into the ground. Softening the chest, the belly. Letting the pelvis sink into the ground, legs are heavy. And then when you're ready, inviting the breath back into the body. I'm going to make micro movements with the fingers, the wrists, the ankles. Wake up the body one more time. One big stretch, arms over the head. You're waking up a second time this morning. And maybe a big inhale, a yawn. Let the new oxygen come in. And then we'll roll on the right side. And then come up whenever you're ready. Coming back to verticality. Keeping the attention inwards. You don't have to open the eyes here still. Keep the attention on the body. And then when you're ready, you can open the eyes gently, but don't have to rush. Take your time. Thank you for practicing with me. Let me know how it felt in your body.